Well, good day, everybody. Today is Mother's Day, but I think I'm going to show you some of the flowers around here, just to show you what's blooming here in Washington. This is an update on the golden chain tree. You can see through here, it has a bunch of these hanging off of it, which is absolutely beautiful. And like I say, this used to be a tree and then it got chopped down, and so it has a bunch of these suckers on here. And down here you can see where it's been chopped. The other update is to show you, this here's one of the babies I dug out from it. It's got the leaves on it, and it so far is doing pretty good. Got a nice flower up there. Just look at that. Here I have my California poppies, I do believe they call them. They usually come in your wild seed varieties because they have so many seeds. This is a hard bed that I have here to grow anything because it has full sun all the time, and it seems to love it over here. This is just a seedling, but it's a Columbine. Here's a close-up of some of the coloring that's coming into it. This here's the mole plant that I have. You can see it's got what we'll call these blooms, but they're not really blooms. They spit out a little, you see in there, little yellow thing. That's about all it does when it comes to the actual bloom. And then it has the nice seeds on it. But looking at the texture of the plant or the different leaves, it kind of looks prehistoric. Here my peonies are thinking about blooming. All these nice buds. I built the basket around it to hold this up because the buds get so big, the flowers get so big, they just fall to the ground. I don't want to mow them over, so built the basket. My tulips are getting older now, so they're not as pretty as they were. Here I have more tulips, and they're not doing too good, or I should say they're doing excellent, but they're old now. They're just about done. Here I have my lilacs, a nice lavender color. Right here I have my purple lilacs, and the funny thing is these lilacs aren't really meant to be a tall, we'll say, tree. This one used to be approximately 15, maybe 20 foot tall, something like that. And I'll show you. This is actually the whole tree part of it that fell, and it came from right here. It's still hooked up, so I haven't had the heart to take it out. I'm just leaving it lay there. It blooms. I love the color of the lilacs. This here is my pink colored hawthorn tree. Absolutely beautiful. It's just now coming into bloom. This here's my cherry tree. This is a pie cherry tree. I do have a cherry right there, but it just got done blooming. There's a couple blooms left. But I'm trying to keep an eye on this because every year so far I've had those, I think they call them pear leeches, and they get on your cherry trees also. They say to use ash from a fire pit or a wood stove or whatever. And my dad's got a pellet stove, so I'm going to use clean ash this time instead of last year. I was going out of the burn pile getting nails and everything else. But I think those leeches or whatever, they come from a fly, because I noticed little flies around this, and then the next thing I know, they must have laid their eggs, and my leaves are full of those pear leeches. But the organic way is to use the ash, and it's supposed to dry them up instantly and kill them. But I still had a heck of a time last year. This is my pear apple tree. I don't like the looks of these leaves. They just don't look right. But as you can see, there are a bunch of pears popping on it all over the place. And this here pear apple, also Asian pear, also ended up with all those leeches on it. And so I had to ash the heck out of it. But see, there's a little bug right there. I don't know what that is. Get off of there. But like I say, the leaves, they're not doing well. My apple tree is done blooming also. There's a single bloom up there, late blooming. I don't know why this poor tree is living, because if you look at it, that poor thing's so rotten. But my brother and I did trim off a big amount to try to save the tree, as in have it last a few years longer. When it goes, it goes. Delicious apples. Of course, this here's our lavender plant. Not that I'm thrilled with it, because it's the wrong kind of flower. I want the other one that has more of a pineapple shape to the flower. But still, it does have a nice smell to it. Has a Columbine here. And all that there, besides a few grass come up through it, is a St. John wort. And back here I got more peonies getting ready to bloom. And over there. And let's not forget our chives. They're in bloom right now. And even if you want to now, even if they're in bloom, if you need some chives, you can pick them and put them in whatever it is you want to put them in. Here my red hot pokers are getting nice and bloomy. Just blooms all over the place. And of course, another peony back here. And back here is my poppy that I show every once in a while. My daylilies and more peonies in here. And this is my black locust, and you can see it's starting to bud out. This spreads really bad, so you kind of have to keep it under control. I'm making it stay in the bed, but you can see little ones keep popping up in my little flower bed. I do have one over here I went ahead and let grow up. We'll see if I can turn it into a tree, but normally for some reason they freeze the top out and they turn into a bush because they can't keep growing up. Of course, over here is my other golden chain that I transplanted. And so far it's not doing bad. It's got nice leaves on it. Never really expected any of them to bloom, even though that one's blooming. I have some down at the pond of Dad's also. This is Dad's golden locust. It used to be a tree too, and the tree rotted out or something, so now it's got a bunch of the suckers, but isn't that beautiful? Look at all them blooms. I thought I'd show you how the grass is looking. If you see clear over by my place how green it is, that's because I have the camera really low. Realistically, it's coming up good, but it looks so sparse unless you look at a distance. So I just wanted to wish everyone, all the mothers out there, a happy Mother's Day. And that includes the fathers that are having to take care of their children also, because some of us have lost our loved one. So happy Mother's Day, everybody.